Hey guys, this is Danae again. So I just want to give a little advice to students that might be out on rotation and their rotation isn't meeting their expectations. So maybe you're not like directly with your preceptor, or maybe you don't have any guidance. So personally, I am a very self-sufficient person. I'm very independent, and that was the first when I was in primary care. It was my first rotation. That was the first thing that my preceptor said to me. She was like, wow, you're really independent. So when I have a preceptor, I don't follow them around. That's just not me. I kind of hang out, I do my own thing. I do stick with them, but I just I don't know. I don't feel comfortable just like following someone around. Um, so I had a rotation and I felt like I had no guidance at all. So for someone who's highly independent, you know, when I got to the ER, the first thing I did was go in the stock room, figure out where everything was. I never one day asked a nurse to set anything up. I said, "Where is this?" If they said I can get it, I said, "No, I'll get it myself. Please tell me where it is," because I want to be a self-sufficient provider, and that's important to me. So, I had in this rotation, I really had, and I'm not gonna say which rotation it was. I really had no guidance, and basically, I was rounding for 6 hours. It was painful. The residents or the fellow would mumble into their computer. They were these socially awkward people, brilliant, but socially awkward people. If they were doing a procedure, there was never an invitation. The entire 5 weeks, I did one procedure, which was like an NG tube, which I had already done in the ER anyways. Like when I was in the ER, I did IVs, catheters, and NG tubes, and it wasn't even a big deal. So for me to do like one NG tube, I was like, wow. And you're not going to get to do a ton of procedures on every rotation, but for this specific rotation, like I should have been doing something. So even if they were doing a procedure, they would ask you to do what they call scut work. Get the procedure note, like, oh, get this machine, get me the A-line kit, or get me this, or whatever it is, they would ask you for it. And I was just like, okay, fine. And then you would stand in the corner and watch them do the procedure and never be given the opportunity to do anything. Um, it was an absolutely painful rotation. And then the only thing that was bad about rounds ending, because they were so painful, was that at that point you were ignored for the rest of the day because nobody felt like it was their responsibility to teach or do anything like that. Now, my preceptor wasn't around every day, but when this preceptor was around, the person was absolutely amazing, so knowledgeable, filled with energy, and just great knowledge, a great source of information. Um, so I would say that's definitely one positive. So the point of this video is how to deal with this stuff. So my outcome was not successful. I struggled through the whole 5 weeks of the rotation and nothing actually improved. But what I will say is I was honest and I was clear in my feedback at the end of where you have to evaluate um, the rotation. And in addition to that, I called my clinical coordinator. I spoke with him multiple times on the phone. He emailed my preceptor. I made sure I followed up with him. And I asked him, I was like, well, what am I supposed to do at this point? Like, we've talked, a week has gone by. Now I'm halfway through this rotation. Nothing has changed. Is this just one of those situations where you suck it up, you put your head down and you just grind through it and like that's it? That's just what it's going to be? Or am I supposed to continually try to improve this rotation? So at the end of it, I just ended up kind of getting like very frustrated. And also at some points when I got frustrated, I also refused to do scut work. If I was asked to do it, I would just not do it. Or I would just say, like, that's not my job, like, that's not my responsibility. And I know everyone doesn't have the guts to maybe stand up to a doctor or a fellow and say, like, I'm not doing that, but that's what I did, and I'm not saying that's the most appropriate thing to do. Um, And also, I, contacted my school on multiple occasions and I said, this isn't appropriate. This isn't working for me. So, my thing is, the outcome didn't change, but I was an advocate for myself. Um, and like, that's really all you can do. You can be an advocate for yourself and try to make it better, or say nothing and suffer in silence. And then the next person that comes behind you is going to suffer in silence. So at least if they know like what's not working, I was very clear about what wasn't working. So I'm like, it might not help me, but at least it'll help my classmates and no one else will have to suffer through this painfulness. Anyways, guys, I will get back with you and I'll see you soon. Bye.